Travis Kelce proposing to Taylor Swift is a prime example of how Black women are constantly overlooked when it comes to commitment, longevity, proposals, weddings, and these men choosing us. Prior to Taylor Swift, Kelce dated Kayla, who was a Black woman, for over 6 years. And that wasn't enough time for him to realize he wanted to be with her, to build a legacy, to propose, to commit. But 2 years was enough. Now, somebody might argue me and say, well, maybe Taylor Swift was more his type. Maybe that may be true. But how is a girl not your type if you're with her for 6 years? If you ever been to a college graduation and you see the graduates, have you ever seen the young white women and how they have their rings already? 23, 24-year-old women already proposed to because there's a plan. They have a plan in life that they know that they have to get married, start family, start legacy, and build up from there. When it comes to Black women, they just want to make us baby mamas and leave us, and they just want to never commit fully and not treat us the same as far as being chosen like other races. And the fact that women are really not in control of proposing, we're waiting for these men to give us what we deserve, but it just never comes. Therefore, we then have to leave. Therefore, that we create a broken family, a broken household, and it continues and continues until Black men start choosing us like other races choose their people, their women. Until Black men start choosing us, the narrative.
Hey everyone, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. Before I get into my opinion, because I knew people were going to compare Taylor Swift to Kayla Nicole, I'm sorry. But before I get into my opinion, listening to this young woman was so infuriating. And let me tell you why. Because I have been online for 20 years before YouTube, and I used to spend a lot of time on this platform suggesting to young women, I was talking to Black women, get married, then have your children. I got all kinds of told off, pick me, male identified, cussed out, shut your blankety blank up, shut the blank up. I mean, you name it, think of a name, I was called that name by Black women when it came to marriage. Black women are some of the most anti-marriage women I have ever encountered. And as I've said, I grew up in a predominantly white community. I've worked with Asian people, with Arabic people, and you see them as young as 23, 25 with wedding bands on. I'm talking the men and the women. I'm getting ahead of myself. But with Black women, and you can see it online, you can watch it on the Kendra G show, they raise their sons and their daughters to be anti-marriage. Then you have women like this that get online and they're scratching their head about why aren't these men marrying us? And then you have women such as myself, and you have other traditional minded content creators who offer advice on how to get married, stay in your marriage. But the women don't want to listen to us. They would rather listen to the other single women who they sell each other dreams and hopes and all of that. So let's get to Taylor Swift, who I'm not a fan of, by the way. The song Last Christmas by George Michael, anytime her version comes on at Christmas time, I got to turn the channel because I can't. But anyway, so I just want to make sure I wrote, so you're going to see me looking down because I'm going to refer to my notes on what this young woman said. So she said Black women are overlooked for long-term relationships and marriage. Y'all be promoting the hit it and quit it culture. And y'all don't have to take my word for it. Watch the Kendra G show. Go to marriage topics geared towards Black women and read the comments from Black women. But going back to Kendra G, her show. The amount of Black women who come on that show looking for a husband, who have 3, 5, up to 7, 8 children, they are just having sex. And they will let Kendra know, I wasn't interested in getting married. Marriage just was never a part of my, thought process. Then they have children, and all of a sudden, okay, well, now I want marriage. And men, truly decent men, are stepping back and saying, I know I'm going off on a tangent, but they're stepping back and saying, I don't have to marry a woman who has children already. Black women be promoting the single mother epidemic. I did a video on, and I can't think of her name, Ebony, who chose to have a child without a husband because a bus driver was, she was too good for a bus driver. Y'all should read the comments that I got from women. And some of them were white too. Because this one white woman told me, I would rather be a single mother than be in a miserable marriage. Oh, Lord help me. It's, I do my channel, and I stepped away from my channel for about 5 years, and I've shared that with you guys, because Black women cannot be reached. Most Black women, when it comes to the marriage topic, cannot be reached. But I decided to come back to my platform because I can at least try to reach the younger women. And this is why I tell you guys, get away from the sisterhood. Just get away from them. Because they cannot figure out why they continue to be single and becoming baby mamas. They don't want to hear anything about correction. They don't want to be accountable for anything. So again, I'm getting ahead of myself. So this woman said that, sorry y'all, Travis Kelce, he dated Kayla for 6 years. And she said that wasn't long enough time for him to propose to her and build a legacy. It doesn't take a man 6 years to realize if he wants to marry you or not. Ladies, it does not take 6 years for a man to marry you. Now, I realize times are different, but many moons ago, it took a man 6 months to know if he wanted to marry you or not. Women are the ones who changed up this dynamic. Women are giving men sex and children without being in a committed relationship with them. So, but this is why you don't allow men to take your time. 2 years tops. I remember saying, she mentioned something about he was with Kayla for 6 years, Taylor Swift for 2 years, and he pops the question. I used to say years ago, 2 years tops. Give a man 2 years. If he's not moving towards marriage, then you cut your losses with him. And definitely don't have children with him. This is why you should be moving to get off the market while you're young. And I realize that Taylor Swift is 35 plus, but with white women, and I'm going to bring this up really quick. It's funny because a lot of her music was geared towards the feminist movement. And I've said with white women, they could be all kinds of down with the patriarchy and be feminists, and they would still march their butts down the aisle to get married. Black women are the ones who swallow all of that feminist and sisterhood. And I don't need a man. I'm too independent to have a man, and blah, 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 blah. And then they get on these platforms talking about, well, why aren't black men trying to marry us? Y'all, according to y'all, you don't want to be married. And I'm going to tack this on. That coffee, that I did a reaction video to this young woman who said that a man can't take her on a coffee date. Now, what if it's a white woman, an Asian woman, a Mexican woman takes that man up on a coffee date? Next thing you know, she might be walking down the aisle within a couple of years. But black women, my standards are too high for a man to even consider taking me on a coffee date. Okay, y'all keep on thinking that. And I've already done a video on that, so I'm not going to rehash it here. A man, she said something about Kayla was with him for 6 years. Of course a man is going to hold on to a woman for 6 years if she's busting it wide open. And I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift is also doing that. But apparently she's offering something more that he wasn't able to get from Kayla. Maybe Taylor, and I don't know, maybe she makes him a sandwich. Y'all don't know how simple men are. Make that man a sandwich. And matter of fact, I saw a video and I was going to do a reaction to it months ago. Kayla was in this interview after the breakup, and she's telling the young woman, another single woman from what I remember, don't give men wife benefits. Which, okay, but here's the thing. Y'all won't make him a sandwich, but you will open your legs far and wide for him. So you just told that man that all you're good for is a bang, a cheap, tawdry bang somewhere. But you have an issue making him a sandwich, making him a meal. Men really are that simple. Feed them, don't nag them, and when you're married to them, you know, sex them down. Okay. Okay, so another thing that she mentioned, and I did a reaction to something similar too. She said at a college graduation, she said the white women are showing off their engagement rings, they're getting married, or what have you. I've said before, white women compartmentalize. They would be out there doing their hot girl summers too. But when they hit 23, 25, maybe a couple of years after college, boom, it's time for me to get married. And then they go on a hunt to get their husband. And he might not be a Chad or a Brad. He might be a Roger or a Brian, someone nondescript and basic. But she knows that man is going to give her a good life. For some reason, somewhere along the line, black women have been told they can be average and below average and get the tippity top, who's a millionaire that's going to take her and her 3 children by 3 different men on. Y'all keep being lied to. And if y'all want to listen to traditional minded platforms, I'll gladly give you their names. Respond below to those platforms, and you might already know who they are. But young ladies, this is why I'm trying to talk to you, the ones of you who want marriage, because right now there's this very loud, I don't need to be married, marriage is not a goal, only basic itches want marriage, and this, that, and the other. Keep on listening to those women. I'm trying to get y'all away from that mindset so you can get the life that you claim that you want. So it aggravates me when these women come online, and here's something else, because some of you might be like, well, Shimmer girl, I do want to get married. I don't believe that. You know, I don't think like that. Every time I do these types of videos, crickets. I might get 1 or 2. And for a minute there, I had some day ones. Hey, y'all. Thank you. But I had some women who were day ones who were rocking with me. But for the most part, most of the women want to come in and tear me apart. And don't nobody be coming to my side to say, you know what, I agree with her. No. See, and a lot of times y'all might be like, no, but I don't think like that. But y'all won't speak up. I'm speaking up. And I don't even have a dog in the fight. I have a husband. And even before I had a husband, this is how I was talking, because I know the benefit of having a husband. And then she said, this is going to be my final point. She said black women are waiting for men to propose, but the men don't. And that's how broken homes are created. Broken homes are created because y'all be putting the cart before the horse. You have children with men who you just kicking it with. You're in situationships with. You're friends with benefits with. One night stand with. Look at the Kendra D show. Look at how many women that come on that show who have children that said they were never in a relationship, but they're having children. So black women have to change their mindset when it comes to marriage, children after marriage. And it was one point that I wanted to make, but I already let it escape. But that was my topic for today. And that's another thing. A man that dates you for 6 years, you allowed it. He doesn't owe you a wedding at the end of that 6 years unless you guys were specifically talking about, what we're going to get married, because it is the man who chooses the woman that he wants to marry. This is why you as a woman, you figure out early on if this man wants you as a wife or he's stringing you along. You figure that out early. You don't go 3, 4, 5 years, have a kid or kid here and there, and then, realize, oh, he doesn't want to marry me. You don't do that, ladies. Why is this not common sense? Do y'all know, and I've said this on my channel before, I used to work in predominantly white communities or what have you, and the amount of white women, even a couple of Asian women and Eastern European women, they would be with their boyfriends for a couple of years, maybe 3 years or whatever, but the minute they got married, boom, she's pregnant. A lot of those women wait until after they get married before, even if they're with their boyfriend for a long time, they wait until a ring is on that finger, and then they pop out a kid for that man. Black women don't operate like that. I did another video, and I'm gonna close it up, y'all, on TikTok. And the amount, and I got thousands of comments, the amount of anti-marriage rhetoric from black women was astounding. And so for this woman to get on here and fix her mouth to say, black men aren't trying to marry us. Oh, and that's something else. Because black women think Kayla is all that in a bag of chips and she's a baddie. This is why so many black women are devastated, because they're like, if a baddie like her couldn't snag a man like him, then what hope is there for me? Y'all are not looking at it from a man's point of view. Men aren't marrying baddies because they're baddies. Men want to marry a woman that, okay, she's going to be a good mother to my children. She's going to make me a sandwich when I ask for it. Or in their case, they're rich enough. Maybe they have a private chef. Okay. But y'all need to go on platforms to understand what it is men are asking for. Y'all keep going on platforms with anti-man rhetoric from feminist women and misandrous women, and that is what is tripping y'all up. So that is my topic for today. I went a little bit longer than I anticipated, and I'll talk to you later.